Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're here, and I'm here. We're
What if I'm
here.
not here?
You're here. I heard your voice.
But what if I'm not?
But I heard the dulcet tones of my
What if it's
friend
just a
Steve.
continuation of last week and you're just in a coma and I'm just a figment of your imagination?
Are we gonna pull this up again? Fuck. Wasn't that was the psyop from last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. Like, oh fuck. Okay, so I'm just coming out of a YouTube rabbit hole. I don't know if you've ever YouTube rabbit holed before.
Yes, but mostly with music. Then you end
See,
up listening
that's
to
fascinating.
then you end up listening to Ina Kamosi and I'm the Hot Stepper.
Word her up. No, so I had a couple minutes. I got through. I wrote the jokes. I got like the outline for what I want to talk about tonight. I got it all here, and I don't know how this ended up in my fucking suggestions, but the very first thing in my YouTube suggestions when I brought it up about 5 minutes ago was how to make your partner squirt. Now, I have not been like researching how to do this. Maybe I should be on a more regular basis, but as of right now, I have not been.
It's weird that was on a YouTube video.
I know. You would think, okay, this is like Pornhub territory, right? So, anyways, I'm curious. I got a couple minutes and I'm flaccid. Might as well take a look, right?
Let's see what happens.
This is like, I think that there are some people that spend a lot of time making content, and there are some people that don't spend a lot of time making content. And I think that this PhD lady was the type of person that didn't spend a lot of time making content. She went on this like glorious trip with like these big expressive hand motions. When your partner is at the plateau of an orgasm, like that was her cadence the entire time she's talking. And like there's a point where she's like, oh, and before we get too much further in, here's a fun tip: bring a towel.
Here's a fun tip.
It's like, how is this a fun tip?
It's a fun tip.
A fun tip. That's a hygiene tip. That's all I could think of. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I love a YouTube rabbit hole. I love to make a YouTube rabbit hole squirt. That's what I love.
Well, that is definitely not where I end up with YouTube rabbit holes.
No. You go on music holes.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Informer by Snow.
Here come the hot stuff, but that's so good, dude. I love that very much. Welcome to the Save vs. Poison podcast, the podcast dedicated to gaming, general geekery, and enduring sobriety in an ever-maddening society, with your host, Will, and two guys that probably live under his stairs. If you're an addict, know an addict, or are just interested in exploring the outer mysteries of geekery, you're in the right place. Without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is our third take because apparently I have a case of the not able to speak words good tonight. Just wacky. I don't understand what's happening. But hopefully it'll still end up being an exciting show full of excitement. We've got some somber stuff. We've got some fun stuff. We've got Steve. We've got some other stuff. Tiki will not be joining us as currently he is globetrotting trying to find an ointment that will work not only to cure back hair, but also erectile dysfunction. He says he's asking for a friend. I don't know what that's about. But instead, joining me tonight, he recently took up smoking after sex. To date, his pack of menthol cools is untouched. He's my friend Steve. Good evening, Steve.
It's good to be back.
Good to be back. All right, okay. When on the second take of trying to start the show, I went, welcome back to the show. And that was not, I wasn't trying to be funny. It literally just came out of my mouth. Welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Good to be back, everybody. Like, are we on the bayou? What is fucking happening? What, like, normally I could talk. I have very few skills, all right? Very few. Talking has usually been one of them. It's very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. Don't understand what's happening right now.
Either me.
Either you. Good. It's Save versus Poison. My name is Will. I am your host. As well as being your host, I'm also an alcoholic in recovery these 3.5 years. Fantastic. Good job. I'm proud of me. Some other people are proud of me too. Yay. It's been a weird day. It's been a weird couple of days. We'll get into that in a little bit. Before we do, though, I want to ask Steve, how the heck is Steve? Steve, how are you?
I am good.
How good are you, Steve?
So good.
Okay, all right, great, fantastic.
No, I'm good, man. Had a good weekend. Did the whole Mother's Day stuff. Ate a lot of pizza. Ate a lot of wings in one sitting.
Delicious.
Steve can eat.
Steve can put it down. Everybody. Yeah. He's not a large man,
but I can fucking eat.
Yeah.
The trick is just you don't listen to your stomach.
Yeah, the trick is to just keep shoving it down.
Power through.
Yeah.
So yeah, had some pizza, some wings. Saw the Mario movie.
Oh, you did see the Mario movie. Good.
Yeah, I finally got to go see that with the kiddo.
Nice.
What else? I tried an espresso from the machine.
Like the first time ever?
Yeah, I'd never had one before.
You've never had an espresso?
Not an espresso. I've had an espresso. The Nespresso.
Oh, Nespresso.
Yeah, the specific machine.
Yeah.
I frankly really enjoyed it.
I don't believe you.
Because I don't enjoy anything?
Don't believe you because you don't enjoy anything. I
do.
I listed off like 4 different food things today, and you were like, yeah, I don't like it.
You were wrong about all of those.
No, they're all delicious. Fuck you.
No.
Just no. No eloquent response, no debate, no attempt at lively conversation.
Well, I just had to I thought about it for a second. I wanted to think back to what we talked about. Your concept of a pepperoni pizza donut sounds fucking vile.
You would love that. You would eat that up.
I wouldn't. I would not eat that. It sounds terrible.
Up.
It sounds awful. I saw it on the internet today. I don't understand why people are ruining 2 of the greatest foods by mashing them together.
I don't understand why you can't like things that can be multiple things.
Because it's salty and sweet, and it sounds gross.
I love salty sweet. I love salty sweet. It's delicious.
Only in certain circumstances.
All right.
Like candied bacon, garbage, overrated.
Candied bacon? How dare you, sir?
Terrible.
Delicious.
Not good.
Glorious. Candied bacon BLT.
No. Regular BLT with yellow mustard. That's right. Yellow mustard.
I can see that with yellow mustard. I can do that. I could throw that out.
Most people don't like it.
I could throw that down. I want the mayo, but I want my mayo. Look at my skin tone. All right, I like
place, and it's in tuna. That's about the only.
It's in tuna. You know what I like in tuna? Miracle Whip. I buck that tradition. I don't know why. Because
you like mayo that sat out for a few days.
Yeah, that's the miracle. That's the fucking miracle.
They just age it. Recently, so I've been trying to expand, and I try to try things.
Sure.
Because I just don't like them once I do.
Sure.
But I am open to trying them, and I recently came into possession of a lot of Duke's mayonnaise.
Okay.
And apparently it's like one of the best mayonnaise. Everybody raves about it. You hear it online all the time.
Okay.
Duke's the best. And I just don't like mayo when it's not on.
It's okay. You don't have to. Just don't deny me my love of mayonnaise.
No, you do you.
Don't deny me, all right? And my love of donut pizzas.
And blue cheese.
I don't like blue cheese, actually. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it's not that good.
I don't have like a lot of things that I don't like. I'm not a big fan of olives. I don't like blue cheese. I'm not a big fan of mushrooms.
So I have a weird thing with mushrooms. Like, I like cooked mushrooms. I want to like uncooked mushrooms, but I don't.
Yeah.
But they look appetizing. They look like something I want to stick in my mouth.
They don't look like anything I want in my mouth. Not at all.
And then I try, and they're just spongy, and they don't have. They have a weird flavor.
Yeah.
Like raw mushroom isn't
good. Just weird. I used to work in restaurants. I had to know what like these things tasted like. And every single time, like the chef was like, all right, you need to taste this mushroom dish. And I'd be like, oh, fuck. All right, I will taste
cooked,
it.
it's probably
and he'd
delicious.
be like, don't you think this is delicious? And I'd be like, no, this tastes awful. It tastes like fucking mushrooms. I can't. No. This is a no-go, all right?
Beets taste like dirt.
Beets do taste like dirt, yeah. Unless they're the canned ones, and they just taste like vinegar. And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Beets aren't good.
Beets aren't good. Okay.
We should move on.
We should move on. I mean, the audience is getting a great visual or auditory understanding of exactly all the things that we don't want to eat.
We don't want to eat.
Now, booze. Ha
Some of us really want to eat it.
Well, I'm glad that you. I'm glad you had a good weekend. I really am. My weekend was weird. First of all, before we start that, though, I want you to know that I'm wearing a sleeveless hoodie right now. I want you to know that.
Thank you.
We had the long conversation like a half a year ago about how much you hate people that wear like vests with hoods.
Wasn't me. Oh, I don't like
basically
vests.
What it is.
I don't understand vests. I guess that's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
A sleeveless hoodie is just
Actually, I get sleeveless hoodie more than I get vests, though.
Really?
Yeah. Like that.
So this whole thing was a miss. Like I was really hoping.
Here's the thing. No. Okay. Like a vest is poofy and it's like, I'm trying to keep warm, but my arms are cold. That's stupid. Like.
That's stupid. Listen, all you vest wearing motherfuckers out there.
Yeah,
stupid.
If you wear a vest in the winter, I don't understand you. It doesn't make sense. But
they like a chilly elbow. I don't know.
Like a sleeveless hoodie, like that's like look at my guns kind of statement. Like
I mean
it's very tank top adjacent, and I am all for that.
I feel very, very called out right now.
Because that's why you're wearing it, right?
That's why I'm wearing it, yeah. But I'm here for the thirst, all right?
Like,
I'm here for it.
I get wearing that. Like, you're not wearing a vest for that purpose. You're wearing a vest because you're like, I don't. Why do you wear a vest?
you're like trying to puzzle it out.
It's fucking winter
there's
out,
no
man.
logic. I don't understand. But what if they were wearing just sleeves? What if they were? Fuck! I can't English today. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Like I can't English. This sucks.
We're back now.
Oh,
what if they wear?
What if they wearing? What if they're wearing just sleeves?
I'll allow it.
You'll allow that, okay? I
like. I'm trying to picture that. Like,
I'm deeply confused.
Why are we wearing just the sleeves? Is this like a winter thing? Like,
yeah.
Like it's cold out. But you didn't want to have the vest.
But you didn't want the poofy in front. You just wanted sleeves. Yeah.
Like I like. If it's just like the sleeves to like a hoodie sleeves, it just seems weird. Just weird enough.
I feel odd.
It seems like you're doing it to be weird, and I'm okay with that.
Wait. So a vest, which has some utility in keeping the torso warm.
That's the problem.
In keeping
is it
the
like
torso
then just wear the full
warm?
jacket? Just wear the whole jacket.
What if they?
Your arms are still cold.
What if they want to show off the guns, but it's like 32 degrees?
Then you're still cold. Put the fucking jacket on.
But you can't show off the guns.
I don't think. I think at that point that's
not.
But I don't think anybody's.
There's
doing that
no
with a
utility. There's no utility in like wearing sleeves just because.
Well, yeah.
Like I feel like you're gonna start wearing water wings everywhere. Like
that's the image I have.
That's the image that I've got now too. Yeah, thank you for that.
I presume at that point you're just doing it for attention, and
I just anybody that does that kind of thing with the attention seeking shit, I just want to squirt them with the like just like a cat.
Seen how I dress?
I mean, I've seen a couple of your outfits, but I always thought they were for like a show thing that we were doing.
No, I mean that one specifically was, but like, I mean, I wear a lot of like.
Okay, I'm gonna squirt you like I squirt my cat then.
And like tank tops, and I don't have the guns.
That's true.
But sleeves are bullshit.
You could though. You could.
And
we can start that any day.
Have you not seen the bird outfit?
No, I don't think
that's just a thing I wear.
I don't know that I've seen the bird outfit. That's a good question.
I wear bird shirts now.
You wear birds? All right, Winston. All right, Winston. Okay. Way to get started, everybody. This is like just random tangential. Like, did you not did you or did you not make a psyop tonight? And if you didn't, did you just think we're going to have like the most random, weird, bullshitty conversation at the start of this episode ever?
That was not my fault.
I feel like you bring it out of me. I feel like you bring it out of me.
Yeah, I mean, I have opinions, okay?
Yeah. Oh, I know.
They're weird opinions. I have opinions.
They're weird opinions. They certainly are.
I'm self-aware. I acknowledge that most of them are very, like, I mean,
nice.
I get it.
Nice. Wow.
Hey, Will, are you an alcoholic?
Yeah, I'm an alcoholic.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an alcoholic. Yes, I am an alcoholic. That's me. I'm Will, and I'm an alcoholic. Normally, Tiki would say something, but since he's trying to find depilatory, I think is the word.
I don't know. I forgot the joke already.
The destruction of hair. Depilatory /
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Wearing. Yeah, fuck. Oh, goddamn. This show is just, it's going off the rails.
Weird.
It's going off the rails.
It's a weird one.
My name's Will. I'm an alcoholic. There we go.
My name's Steve. I'm not an alcoholic, but I am the hot stepper.
Word up. He's a lyrical youngster. Word up.
Still living like that.
Excuse me, Mr. Officer. Word up. Still living like that. Yeah. Good game. Nice. Just threw that in there. Now that song is stuck in my head. I feel like I have to listen to the whole thing.
You do?
No, we don't die. Yes, we multiply.
I am enjoying how much of this song you remember.
That I remember? It's because
that brings a smile to my face.
I live in a house with somebody who is like perpetually stuck in the pop of the 90s and 2000s.
I like it. It's yeah. You know.
It's in there. It's a nah. Fuck.
Also,
it's in there. Fuck.
I do have to correct you though. You keep saying like word up or something. I'm pretty sure he says murderer. I think that's the lyric.
Yeah, but I got the suburban version of the song.
The what version?
The suburban version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got the radio edit. That's what I got. I actually don't know. Now I'm curious. All right, I'm not going to stop the show to look it up, but I am
Google
curious.
It. If you're listening, go ahead and shoot us a tweet.
Yeah, if you're listening, please
leave a comment.
Show up on Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday.
Tell us what the actual lyric is. Is it word up or is it murder?
Murder. It might be murder. It probably is. It probably is. My parents sheltered me, which didn't end up very good because I just went the opposite way once I got into my 20s. But anyways, cheers. So been sober, still sober. Had kind of a rough weekend though. It wasn't a great weekend. There were some aspects of it that were really good. I got to play some video games with a bunch of different people, and that was fun. We did an impromptu stream on Sunday night to play some Diablo 4, or Saturday night, excuse me, not Sunday night, Saturday night. So I basically streamed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all for about 3.5 to 4 hours each night. And each one had its... 2 of them were really good. One of them was kind of a mixed bag. So, tonight's topic that we're going to go into, and we might as well just launch into it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sober. That's all well and good. I actually had a conversation with somebody today where I was talking about the events of this week, and I was like, sometimes I forget because for whatever reason, the motivators that keep me sober are so powerful that staying sober has been pretty easy now that I've got kind of a routine. I've got some things that I do that are specific to my sobriety that I do on a unbelievably consistent basis. Like we have 119, counting the one that we're doing right now, 119 episodes of this show. We have 5 listeners, but we have 119 episodes of the show. That's a lot. I've never stuck with something that wasn't biologically connected to me by way of progeny, or made a vow to in a public ceremony where all my family was watching. I've never stuck with anything like this. So I think I sometimes take for granted the fact that I have had what I would kind of consider a pretty easy time in staying sober. over the last 3.5 years. And not everybody has that. I had a community member call me mid-relapse during the stream on Saturday night. And they called into the show and they wanted to... They were like, "Hey, are you streaming right now?" I was like, "Yes, I'm streaming right now." He literally called into the show, knowing that. And they were like, "Are you recording it?" And I was like, "Well, it will be recorded on YouTube." And then this person, and I'm not gonna, I don't name names. I don't, just like usual. We don't dox. There's no doxing. But this person was obviously intoxicated, and that I had some dissonance in my head brain, because this is somebody that's not supposed to be drunk, and I took it for granted that this was going to be that the way that I'm keeping sober is the way that other people might be keeping sober, or how I'm experiencing sobriety might be something that I can, share with other people, and hopefully they'll have kind of a similar path once we start talking and working together. And I don't think that I ever said that out loud, but I think I had the kind of unconscious assumption that would be sort of how if you joined our community, everything would be shipshape, and that would be it. And that obviously isn't the case. And so this happened on Saturday night. I spent most of yesterday in kind of a funk. I had a really, really hard time with this because there were a lot. I had a lot of emotions about it. One, it's our community. It's not my community, but I'd be lying if I said that I'm not the forward face of this community. It's me doing the majority of the work on the podcast. Steve and Ticky's faces aren't on here, although they could be if they, wanted to be. That would be just fine. I do the Twitch stream 3 times a week. It's my face up on the screen, right? So I take a certain amount of responsibility upon myself to try to have an answer for questions when they arise. And yesterday, or not yesterday, but Saturday, when this person came on and was mid-relapse, all I wanted to do was I wanted to be able to offer some kind of, mystical advice that would get through to them, and suddenly they saw what, would be considered the error of the last couple of days, and I didn't have anything that I thought would be appropriate. And all I could think was, all right, I basically think I just have to talk this person down off the ledge. Because 1, they're drunk, and there's no talking to somebody when they're drunk. You're not going to affect change. 2, we're doing this publicly, so I don't want them to divulge anything too, damaging. So I asked kind of basic questions like, are they safe? And they were. They were just at home. And when they started to try to justify not calling, because one of the things that I do say on a regular basis is, look, I would rather you call me than relapse. I'd rather get a 2 a.m. phone call from somebody that needed my help than they have a relapse. I would much rather that. I'll deal with whatever tired happens tomorrow, knowing that somebody felt that they could reach out to me and be candid about how they were feeling in a pretty emotionally vulnerable place. I'm there for that. I'm down for that, 100%. It's part of my service. It's part of, taking on the mantle of putting this stuff out there publicly. At least that's what I've thought. So I don't know. I don't know if I felt a little betrayed by this happening, or if I was just overall disappointed, which is not this is not, that's on me. Those feelings are on me. And they're things that I need to, move through and pass, and not something that I need to dump on somebody else. Especially since if they're in a place where they just relapse, they are probably dealing with whatever possible shame from those in their immediate life and whatever they're feeling about how they had a relapse. So I started looking up stuff to try to figure out, what do we do? What do we do when a relapse happens for somebody that we care about, somebody that's a loved one or a friend? And the kind of, I found two sort of sources of information that I sort of liked. But the big one was kind of basically just a list of do's and don'ts. And I liked the do's and don'ts because it gave me something that I could concretely adhere to moving forward. In the case of talking with somebody that has relapsed, the very first thing is, I can't make it about myself. You can't make it about you. It's got to be about what this person is going through. Now, you might feel a certain way. Like, for instance, I just said I felt I felt hurt. I felt, potentially a little bit betrayed. I can't put that onto somebody else. That person, the instant that I throw something negative at them like that, they're going to feel as if I'm not somebody that they can come to. And in terms of harm reduction, it's really, really important that whatever way I feel about something, I take external to the relationship that I have with the person that relapsed and try to work through that away from them. 2, don't try to fix it. You can't fix it. I've been told, and I've said myself, there is no making an addict sober. You cannot make an addict sober. You can be a part of a reason why they might want to get sober, but all of the work that has to be done to achieve sobriety, that's got to come from an internal source, or else it won't stick. It's like every single time I try to get somebody that I care about to come work out at the gym with me, I can browbeat them into going once, but if I continue to browbeat them into doing things that are good and healthy for them, they're just going to end up resenting me for it. If every single time I show up, I'm like, hey, let's go to the gym, let's go to the gym, let's go to the gym, instead of saying, hey, if you ever want to go to the gym, I'm happy to be a resource. I'm happy to join you there. But the impetus has to come from an internal source. I have to remember that I'm not the victim here. I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim of this. My putting any kind of emotional energy into this group of people cannot end in one of them making a mistake and then me feeling as if I was wronged on purpose. I can't do that. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for the people in the community. And then the last thing is not to persecute, not to come to a person and say, hey, you did this, you fucked up, you made mistakes. They probably already know that. And the only reason that I can think of that I would do that to somebody else is because I feel hurt and I want to hurt them back. And if I think about ways to help somebody get sober, I feel like that's got to be at the bottom of a list that includes things like step on their toe and punch them in the dick. I got to imagine. So, what do we do? Well, if they're mid-relapse, if they're currently on something, we need to be making sure that they are safe, that their medical condition is not in jeopardy, that their psychological condition is not in jeopardy, and that their environmental conditions are not in jeopardy. So making sure that if they are in a place that is physically hazardous to them, that we help get them out of that place. Now that can be hard, especially if they don't want to go with you. And in that case, it might be wise to involve authorities. But if you get a phone call saying, hey, I fucked up, I drank, and I'm in a place where I don't know that I can get out, or I'm in an unsafe area, it would be helpful to go get them, provided you will be safe, and then move them out of that environment. Psychological conditioning, making sure that their psychological state is safe. That's a longer term thing that most people are probably not super, and I would not consider myself to be somebody that was super well able to handle that kind of concern. And then medical condition, making sure that, if they've relapsed and they're currently ODing, I mean, that's a 911 call. That's what that's got to be. So, yeah. The other things that we can do is that we can show up with compassion. And compassion doesn't mean enabling, but it also doesn't mean, falling back on persecuting. We can show up, we can say, okay, all right, you're in a way. You are admitting to have made a mistake. Okay. We can discuss a plan with them after they're on the other side of whatever use of whatever their substance is. And we can talk to them and ask them things that are designed to get them to answer questions about how they're feeling and what they want. Ticky's had some amazing, insightful questions. And one of my favorites is, how's this working for you? It's a really simple question. How is this working for you? Is this working for you? Do you like where you are right now? You don't? Okay, let's make a plan. And then the last thing, and I think this one's important, is giving their recovery back to them. We can't fix it. We can't fix them. We can't make them sober. Their recovery has to be theirs. And we should aid in that ownership. When they say things like, okay, I'm on day 2. This might be their 5th day 2. You know what? Just concentrate on day 2. They've had their day 2. They've been sober for 2 days. That's great. That's great. Help them to own that. Help them to feel good about that ownership. I don't know. These were just a couple of thoughts that I found researching today. I spent about 3 hours trying to find good help for this, and to be perfectly honest, it was a lot of cliched stuff. It was a lot of listening to people's stories about what happened when they relapsed, and how some things went well and some things didn't. Trying to find a codified list of exactly, some things to do, some, kind of points of contact to seek out. That was actually probably the most frustrating part of it. Like, I didn't reach out to any experts, and it might be something that I do in the coming, days or weeks, because I would like to be somebody that knows enough to say, hey, okay, you've got somebody in your life relapsing. Here are some steps that you can do to help them back towards what I hope is their desire to be and stay in recovery. So that's what I got for tonight. Rough weekend that had me introspective about the nature of how I feel moving through this community, and how how I feel speaking to and about this community that we're trying to create. And that's certainly, nothing's changed about that. I still want and need to have a community built around this sort of central focus of, addiction and gaming. It's super important to me. So yeah, we're gonna keep doing this. We're just gonna try to get more and better informed and more emotionally intelligent and aware of exactly what our roles are inside the community. So, Steve, do you have anything to share tonight?
No, man. I thought that was good though. Like,
Yeah.
The one thing you said that I can relate to at least is I think, and this is speaking somewhat general, but I think one of the biggest problems as men, we have a tendency to try to fix things. And when
Yes.
you said don't try to fix things. Yeah. That's something that I try to be aware of. I'm not very good at it. I always want to try to fix the thing. For whatever loved one that's hurting, it's tough to sometimes just be there and listen, but that's sometimes what people need.
So this is one where I love this about my wife and I's relationship. We came to the conclusion a long time ago that there are times when it's appropriate to try to fix. There's times when it's appropriate to try to feel. So I will ask her and she will ask me, because we both have these moments where like I'm in my feelings about it. And Steve, you know me, you know my wife. I am far and away the more high maintenance individual out of the two of us. That's not even that's not up for discussion. It's not even close. My wife is chill and cool and sweet and kind, and I am.
Tell me I'm pretty.
Somebody needs to tell me I'm fucking pretty. All right. I know you're not watching any of this video right now, but I'm staring right back at myself, just thinking, ooh. Somebody in this room thinks you're cute.
Look at those sleeves that aren't there.
There's no sleeves on my shirt right now. It's great. It's so great. Got the little tassels going. Yee. Yeah. But we'll start off any kind of conversation where there's going to be a need for a deeper understanding of how we're feeling. We'll start off conversations by saying, okay, so is this a feelings conversation or a fix-it conversation? And just doing that, I have found, has made so many of the conversations that my wife and I have so much better, because she's not gone off on a 30-minute long, I feel this way about something in my life, while I'm trying to figure out when's the break where I can tell her, well, this is what you got to do right here, honey, and this is what you got to do, lady. And, the same right back at me, where I will want to explore how I feel about something, and she'll be in a, here's what I think you should do about that situation. And I'll be like, no, let me feel my feelings kind of moment. And I recognize that there is a utility to moving directly to fix it. I recognize that. But there are times when the fix is just to allow for your partner or whoever it is that you're talking to be able to explore exactly the way that they're feeling. And honestly, half the time that I do that, I end up coming up with a solution all on my own, without needing any other input. I just needed a sounding board and to, showcase, hey, I had this negative external stimulus. I felt this way about it. Is my feeling about this negative external stimulus in any way, shape, or form unjustified? And do I have a problem in the way that I emotionalized that situation? And oftentimes, I just starting off the conversation with, is this fix it or is it feel it? Because if it's feel it, I'm going to shut up and let you explore, and that'll be fine. But if it's a fix it, then yeah, I'm gonna want you to stop every 5 minutes, because I might have thoughts for you. So yeah, no, I like that you brought that up, man. I do. I like that you brought that up quite a bit.
I like that I brought it up too.
Yeah, good job, buddy.
Very clever.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that you conversationally were just wearing a sleeveless hoodie, and that was showing off your thought arm guns. Nicely done. Your thought guns. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was just arrogance, or I don't think it was. Like, I think I'm trying to come from a decent place, and I just maybe took a little too much responsibility on myself, and that's why I felt so negatively about that situation on Saturday night. I think.
I get that.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, cheers, right on. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Amazon's gonna come out with a fucking Lord of the Rings game. Like there's already a Lord of the Rings game out there.
About it.
There's already a Lord of the Rings MMO out there. All right, so I have a couple of problems with this. So one, they want to make it an MMO. I want this model to die because the classic massive multiplayer online role-playing game, like you can't get better than what I think, like World of Warcraft, yes. Guild Wars, I think, did it really, really well. But everything else is just kind of meh, okay? Like, everything else just has its kind of day in the sun, and then it just sort of piddles out, and it's like the gameplay isn't great. The storylines aren't great. There's some kind of compromise that's made in every single one of these games where every one of these games ends up being subpar to just a standard multiplayer version of a game that had a high amount of competence put into the design and implementation of most of the features. I think that every single time you try to go MMO with the game, it just waters down what could be a really, really good experience. I don't know how much MMO you've played, Steve, if any.
I don't play a whole lot, and I basically agree with everything you said. And that's kind of why I don't play them.
Yeah.
They're just, for whatever reason, they're just not my jam.
I mean, even things like World of Warcraft. And I loved World of Warcraft for a really long time. I think like 6 of the now 9 expansions, I was really, really into it. I thought the last expansion that I really enjoyed was Legion, which was phenomenal. But even that, at the end of the day, was an endless series of questing where you didn't read the fucking quest notes because it was just easier to go and collect the 12 wings from the vultures out on the Great Plains, bring them back to the guy, and get your little da-da noise at the end of it. That was the gameplay loop. It wasn't that great. Like, you would get to the raid section, and the raiding was a lot of fun. Raiding was great, especially when you had, like, voice chat. Like, I think the first time that I did voice chat for raiding was in the Burning Crusade, which was the first of the expansions, and that was a ton of fun. Had a great time. It was TeamSpeak at the time, I think was the it wasn't Discord, it was TeamSpeak, I think. It's been a while. It's been a little while since then. Had a great time playing, but like even back then, like the gameplay loop for most of the gaming was not particularly enjoyable. It was satisfying, but it wasn't enjoyable. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. So one, they're gonna make it an MMO. Two, how do you do justice to the Lord of the Rings in a video game format? I think that there's been a few games that have come kind of close, but even the games that I enjoyed the most, like, did you play Shadow of War or Shadow of Mordor?
I did.
Okay.
I got, which is the first one?
Mordor, Shadow of Mordor.
Is it Mordor?
Yep.
Okay, I got stuck.
You got stuck?
Okay, so, and this will bring me to our other game that we were going to kind of touch on.
Sure.
I got stuck at the stealth part where you had to poison the orcs. You had to poison all their water.
Yeah.
I am terrible at stealth games. I'm awful at them, and I kind of hate them. So once I got to that point, that was the mission. I could not get past it, and so I kind of just gave up after a while.
Gotcha. That was pretty early on in the game, too. That wasn't like that far in, I don't think.
I mean, I don't know. I felt like I had played it for a while at that point.
I feel like you played it for like 50 hours, but 40 of it was you trying to do that stealth portion.
Maybe. It's possible. But, so those games are... I did enjoy it up until that point.
Mm-hmm. Up until that point.
Yeah. Up until that point, which is also my concern for one of the other upcoming Lord of the Rings game, the Golem game, because I think it's going to be a lot of sneaking around and Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a lot of sneaking. I think it's going to be mostly
I feel like
sneaking
that's all you can
around.
do with
I
that
think that's
character, right?
mostly like
Like
he's
you're
not a
not gonna be
physical
like fighting.
powerhouse
Yeah.
unless your name is Frodo, all right? That's it. And he's got like ring madness.
I want Sam with a frying pan.
I want Sam with a frying pan. That'd be good. If you could play a Sam with a frying pan game, that would be why Gollum? Why not Sam with a frying pan? He's the unsung hero of the goddamn show.
I get wanting to do this game. I get the concept of it, and I even think it's kind of cool. Like, oh, you got to be Gollum. He's an interesting character. I understand all that stuff, but it's just got to be sneaking around, right?
Yeah.
I'm really bad at those games.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I'm sorry.
I know it's not a Lord of the Rings game, but in Uncharted, love those games. They were some of my favorite freaking games. Probably in my top 5 of all time games.
Okay.
Every time you got to an encounter where like, because you could do the stealthy thing, or you could kind of get into a firefight, right? I would try. Would start off stealthy. People are eating lead. Yeah, I'd kill like 2 guys stealthily, and then after that, it just turned into like just a goddamn, a goddamn firefight.
To be perfectly honest, like that's how I played every single Hitman game. I would like sneak into the compound, kill 2 guys really, really quietly,
then just give up and be like,
and then just give up and just start like the.
So I started blasting.
Yeah, just straight up Danny DeVito. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
that's how I played those games, and so that's my problem with any game or stuff. So that's why I got stuck on Shadow of Mordor.
yeah. I enjoyed Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor. Actually, I haven't enjoyed Shadow of War yet. I own it and I would like to play it, but I haven't gotten around to it. And,
gamer ADD.
Dude, total gamer ADD. Well, there's also like every single game that I play these days, I want to make sure has some kind of multiplayer so that I can play it with members of the community. Because the time that I get to play video games is usually just the time that I've got streaming. So I want to play something with other people. Shadow of War is not something you play with other people, unfortunately. So, but playing Shadow of Mordor, it's not canonical. It's so like, if you had a character as powerful as Talion in like the actual Lord of the Rings series, the book would be over. Like you get, and then
the eagles just fly there.
Yeah. I mean, come on, a little bit. Like I love that. That's a constant like meme on Tolkien. And when the eagles just fly, you just take Frodo and get him on one of those 747 Eagles and fly him right over the mountain. Just drop it in.
It's so overpowered. It didn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that. It's just non-canonical and kind of goofy. The MMO that they have out right now, the Lord of the Rings online game, apparently is a decent game, but it follows the exact same sort of formula that I talked about earlier, where you basically you're doing World of Warcraft fetch quests in a Lord of the Rings style skinned out game, which, if you like that kind of gameplay and you are big into Tolkien, I guess that scratches a lot of different itches for you. I also heard that they're developing that for console now. So I don't know when that's supposed to happen.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. I thought about you when I saw this. Like, thought about you direct. I was like, all right, maybe I could finally play an MMO with Steve. That'd be kind of interesting. But so we have played games that we would consider open multiplayer, like Destiny and Destiny 2. And I think that the multiplayer in that kind of a situation works pretty well. I don't have too many complaints about that. Like, it's easy to join up with your friends. You can go out into the greater world, and there are, enough people out in the world that you will see that they can like hop into, your area to help you defeat stuff and things. But it doesn't have the same sort of fetch questy kind of feeling that traditional MMORPGs have, which I think is I don't know. I don't feel like that genre has changed since EverQuest in like 1999. Like it's been around for so long, and it's just the same fucking thing over and over and over again. And it's just like, come on, guys, you guys need to figure out a way to update or move past. I mean, there's been some small incremental stuff that has been updatey and interesting, but for the most part, it's still just, go to this location. Is there an exclamation point over somebody's head? There is. Oh, they have quests. Go get them. Go do those quests. Does a person have a question mark over their head? Oh, the quest's done. Go turn it in. Get your gear. Wee.
And it's the same quest over and over.
And it's the same quest over and over.
Honestly, that's kind of the problem I started having with Assassin's Creeds. Like, it just got to the point where it's like, I just do the same thing over. Follow this guy. Go hide in the bush and kill this guy. Listen to this conversation. All right, I did this.
Jump off this building.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
To answer your question.
Sure.
That you kind of started out with, which was, what would a good Lord of the Rings game look like?
Right.
This is going to make me sound like a broken record.
Go ahead.
I get that. But it's Elden Ring.
It's Elden Ring. I would agree with that if Elden Ring didn't shit the bed the last like third of the game.
No. It's Elden Ring, just with the setting of Middle Earth. Like you take the game, you place it in, I don't know, the middle of the Second Age before the War of the Ring. Because there's other events that have happened. You do it after the last alliance of elves and men, stuff like that. So that, much like Elden Ring, there's all this like context clues of lore that had happened.
Sure.
But you are free to do sort of whatever you're going to do, like whatever you made the game into, whatever your mission was. In Elden Ring, you're trying to be the Elden Lord, whatever. I think that's how you make the perfect Lord of the Rings game, honestly.
I feel like we could say that about a lot.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
Here's the way to make.
But I just mean for
the best fantasy superhero game. The best superhero game. Elden Ring. I'm just Elden Ring. Okay. You get Cyclops in there. You get like.
I disagree. The best superhero game is probably the Arkham series.
I'm just saying Arkham. But Elden Ring.
Batman.
It could work. It could 100% work.
I think that framework would work really, really well.
Yeah.
For that kind of game.
I don't disagree. At all. I mean, I could totally see that. But that's not what Amazon's going to do.
No, that's not what
they're going to do. That's not what Amazon's going to fucking do.
They're going to. Okay. And I liked Rings of Power. I know not everybody did, and I understand all the criticisms and the problems with it. And all those criticisms and problems with it will be the problem with this game.
Yeah.
Amazon is just going to shoehorn a bunch of stuff in to this game
that was not canonically created.
Exactly, and it'll just be like, oh, look at this Easter egg. It will be just trying to do fan service. And it will disservice this game.
I think you're right. I don't think it has to be that way. I think that you could. No, it
doesn't have to be. It just will be.
I think it will be because it's Amazon developing it. Unless they really learn their lessons from the mistakes they made with New World, which I don't think they did. Like we learn when we're hungry, when we're desperate for success. Amazon's not desperate for success. Amazon is a success.
And I am completely guilty and complicit as part of that problem, right? Like, as far as being a consumer, and again, like I said, Rings of Power had problems. I still enjoyed it. I still watched it, you know, and I will be that person who, because I enjoy that IP so much, I will consume just about anything that has a name on it, right?
Okay. Okay, good to know. So if I make a Lord of the Rings donut pizza,
I'll probably have to.
Yeah, got him, everybody.
So angry.
You know what BattleTech is? BattleTech is just set in the 30th century of Lord of the Rings.
See this King Crab? It's just Aragorn.
That's just Aragorn, bro. That's it. This hunchback, it's Gimli. That's funny. I love that you remember the name of the model.
I did.
I'm proud of you. I did paint a king crab. It is a good looking model.
And it is Aragorn.
And it is Aragorn.
From now on,
so beastly. What's up, Aragorn? You're gonna walk in, call it
paint
Aragorn.
The white tree and the stars.
The white tree of Icthalion. Like, why does everything have to be of?
Because it just is, man.
This blade of grass of blah. Like,
I don't have a problem with it.
I have a little bit of a problem.
More of it.
Like why can't something just be named what it is instead of this is the horn of Gondor? Like,
because it wasn't just any horn; it was the horn of Gondor.
No, fuck yourself.
It literally had. It was basically magic in that, like, you could hear it from everywhere, and
the beacon of
get all weirdly pedantic about this.
Beacon of something of what was the name of the beacon? I don't remember. Amonsoon? No, I don't remember.
It's gonna bother me. Red Arrow. What were the beacons?
Wait, was it just called the Beacon of Minas Tirith?
No, I think you're right. It had a name. Because they were the beacons of.
Yeah. I don't remember. Terrible radio right now. I don't know. Just everything in Tolkien had to be the something of the something. It's like, can't things just be not named that?
No.
Damn it.
But it can't.
J.R.R.
It could be the thing.
Yep. Pipe smoking son of a gun. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not excited about this Lord of the Rings game. Like, I like Lord of the Rings based stuff. Not as much as you. You are definitely the uber fan in the room. But I feel like with the track record of what happened with New World, where they shipped a desperately flawed game that had some interesting concepts and a really kind of a cool art direction, and then like kind of supported it, but I don't even think it's like super playable to this day. I don't think it's got like a great playability to this day, at least not that I've seen. I'm not looking forward to Amazon making a Lord of the Rings game. I really don't think, like, just don't. Just please don't. Just no.
Just leave it alone.
Just leave it alone. You're really good at shipping packages around and making money. Just keep doing those things.
Just make Elden Ring.
Yeah, just make Elden. Fuck. Like, I started, like, I don't know how that game got everything right up until, like, the last couple of bosses.
What don't you like about the last couple of bosses?
This is after Showtime. They're garbage. They're garbage. They're hot fucking garbage, and you know it. They're absolutely hot garbage. How so? Well, like the very last boss, you should be able to use your mount. You should be able to use your mount. It's a big, gigantic arena. That thing moves around so fucking fast. Your whole gameplay loop up to that point with those big bosses all involve being able to use the mount.
There's a few that you can't.
Like, but for the penultimate thing, you should have access to every one of the tools that you can bring to bear. And I think that the mount, because they made the mount a part of the combat, I think that should have been a part of that last fight. Like, there's fights that should be skill checks. Yes, absolutely. I think 100% that. There are fights that are supposed to teach you things. Like, I think the very first big boss fight was a great example of a teaching fight. Like, there's going to be more than 4 hits to a combo. The combos are going to come fast. They're going to come slow. There's going to be ones that are easily dodged. There's like
goddamn Margaret.
Yeah, it was a really difficult fight if you weren't a little OP.
My first couple characters that I built. It definitely, that statement is accurate. That it was a difficult fight, and then subsequent characters, I go get really OP.
Subsequent, yeah.
From that point on, I was like, nope, fuck this. I am going into that fight, and I'm not losing it.
I am. Yeah. Your head is going up your own ass in this next fight. Yeah, you Hancock those fights.
My spirit summons are going to be leveled up to where I can level them up to.
I'm going to traverse most of the world before I even get to this fight.
I will have killed that fucking dragon at this point.
Yep, the big gigantic dragon that gives you like 70k souls.
Yeah.
Or
dude, I still call them souls too.
Yeah, I called them souls in Bloodborne, where they're called literally Estus. Not. Yeah, it's an Estus flask. Shut your mouth. You know what's funny? Armored Core 6 is going to come out. I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna be like, "That's Estus. Those are fucking those are fucking souls. I don't care what you say.
I need my souls.
I need my souls. I gotta go get them." It's like, that is not how Armored Core works. Shut your mouth, heathen. This is from software. Those are souls.
I don't know if this is good radio, but I've enjoyed how rambly these conversations were.
Yeah, this was. I don't know. You and I don't get to see each other enough to make like coherent sense out of our normal conversing. I feel like we have like 1.5 million things that we want to talk to each other about, but we only get to talk like once a week. And because there's 3 of us on the podcast,
I'm just saying, I don't talk to all my friends once a week.
That's true, but like, yeah, I don't know. Once a week for 1.5 hours, we bullshit. And then for at least a part of that, you don't feel necessarily connected to the subject matter. And then there's also a third co-host.
If you'd like, I can develop an alcohol.
If you want to do that, I'll be here. No, come on.
If it would help the show.
It would. If everybody that comes on the show could please be an alcoholic before they get here, that'd be great. That'd be great. Of course, then like we'd have like a Captain Phillips moment where you're like, I am the alcoholic now.
I take over the show.
I take over the show. That would be. I would laugh at that. That'd be funny.
Being drunk.
Yeah, you come on here being drunk. So yeah. All right. Well, do you have anything else tonight?
No.
I think Lord of the Rings game by Amazon. Lord of the Rings game by most anybody else. Actually, go get it. Go see about it. The Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. Those are a lot of fun. I don't think of them necessarily as great Lord of the Rings properties, but like they get the aesthetic right, even if they don't get the power levels right. And then I know there's a couple of older games for like PS3 that I really enjoyed. Like War of the North was really fun.
Wasn't I own it. I've never played it, but I think Two Towers for the GameCube.
Wow.
Wasn't that really good? I feel like I remember hearing.
I have no idea. That's a great question, listeners. If you know anything about that game,
seeing something like that is one of the more highly regarded Lord of the Rings games. Nice. And I own it. And I own a GameCube. I just have never played it.
Is your GameCube hooked up currently?
I don't know.
It's a good question. Not that I'm going to try to like get you to play like GameCube games with like yeah. I mean, we've got one upstairs. Yeah. I bought it I think I got it on like Amazon for like $40. And we had a ton of old GameCube discs. I gave it to my wife because like Mario games are her shit. Like she loves that stuff. So
Mario Party, those Mario parties were the best Mario parties.
They really, really were. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. Well, we'd like to end every show by shouting out to the mutual support groups that we hope you turn to in your time of need. AA is Alcoholics Anonymous. That's aa.org, 212-870-3400. Moderation Management, that's moderation.org, 212-871-0974. Secular AA, that's www.aasecular.org, 323-693-1633. Smart Recovery, smartrecovery.org, 440-951-5357. And Women for Sobriety, womenforsobriety.org, 215-536-8026. For friends and family of addicts that need a little help in a group-type environment, there's Al-Anon family groups at www.al-anon.alateen.org or 1-888-425-2666. From all of us here at the Save vs. Poison podcast, I'm Will.
I'm a lyrical gangster.
Murderer. And we wish you warm, creamy regards. Good night, everybody.
You've just listened to another episode of the Save vs. Poison podcast. If you liked what you heard, please follow us, like, and subscribe on Twitter at @VS_save, on Facebook at the Save vs. Poison podcast, and streaming live on Twitch at twitch.tv/SVP podcast. Thanks so much for joining us, and stay safe, everyone.